Many of us got into filmmaking for two reasons. One, of course, our love for telling good stories, but two, our love for travel and getting to explore new places and meeting new people. I've had the opportunity to travel to over 40 countries on many different projects, and I want to give you a breakdown of everything that we've learned for travel shoots and documentaries, specifically for brands and NGOs. So let's get into this. I'll be basing a lot of these tips around the project that AOD Films and SOWN just produced about One Love Tennis over in the Philippines. This is a film about a man named Salvador whose life was changed by tennis. When he came back to his village, he saw that the kids had a need. They needed purpose and to realize what they could actually accomplish in their life. So he began building tennis courts out of seashells. And soon enough, a professional tennis player, Michael, discovered this and partnered with Salvador to begin building professional courts for communities in the Philippines. And now, with Art of Documentary, we are sending our best filmmakers from the community to travel and work on SOWN projects. We sent over one of our top AOD filmmakers alongside Jeven Dovey to go capture this film. We helped produce it with Jake from SOWN. Even had Donna did it at the end, add his touch of color onto the project. This was a really cool collaboration between many filmmakers, and that's what we're intending to do with SOWN moving forward. But the first tip I want to give you, and this may seem obvious, is you need a fixer. A fixer is someone in country who can help produce, translate, and guide you around that environment. But the one tip about getting a fixer is I highly recommend looking for photographers. One, they've had to learn how to be approachable with new people, unless they're a landscape photographer.
Oh yeah,
They usually are personable and know how to make people feel comfortable in front of a camera. Secondly, photographers know where the best light is, and they'll know the best locations. They've probably shot in that environment, so they will know what works best for a film. So obviously you can go onto certain Facebook groups in that country and find fixers, or you can just reach out to production companies and ask for a local producer. Or in the case of our films, No Country is an Island and Rescate, we worked with translators who worked in tourism, who knew all the places in the country and who could speak great English and had great relationships. You're a guest in the country you're traveling to. Don't be so arrogant to arrive in the country without a fixer. They're worth their weight in gold. Pay them well and be kind to them. Very exciting, we're happy to announce a new collaboration with SOWN with an AOD filmmaker who just won our one-day doc competition, Miriam Fallen. They're working together on a new project with SOWN, and we'll be talking more about that and the tips and tricks from their film and what they're learning. My second point is know the goal of the organization or your character. Without defining this up front, you're gonna be shooting a lot of aimless content. This is the biggest mistake I see when people go travel. They get excited by the idea that they're in a new place, there's beautiful light, they brought their gear to a country, and they just believe if they shoot what the organization's doing, they'll make a good film. You're setting yourself up for pain in the end. You are the storyteller. You need to know the goal that the organization or the characters that you're highlighting are actually trying to achieve in the near future. Don't travel to the country just to do a recap video. This removes any tension or uncertainty in your film. People, when they start watching a film that feels just like a recap of something that happened, lose interest because it just feels like everything's going to work out. But if you can state up front the uncertain goal, this will make your film more interesting.
When I started working on this, everyone thought I was crazy. No one thought we would pull it off. But I knew I needed to create something to give the children and my community a chance.
In One Love Tennis, that goal was that Salvador wants to build actual hard clay courts. He wants to get away from just crushed up seashells. This is a goal. We want to lean into this and find out if he can actually achieve it. And for us as the audience, it also makes us perhaps want to support that organization, which that's their goal, is to often get more donors and more people involved with what they're trying to accomplish. Point number 3, before you ever go to the country, create a timeline with some music laid out. I highly recommend avoiding putting music entirely for your piece, but having some music to inspire the images or feel the emotional changes of your project will help you understand what scenes you need to shoot, and for me at least, it helps me begin to visualize what I actually need to accomplish. This is where I love going to Music Bed. I just learned recently that they only accept 1% of the music that's sent to them. This is the cream of the crop. In my opinion, it's the best library for music and composers anywhere on the internet, and it's the first place I go to when I'm beginning to build my edits and create my films. If you go over to our AOD channel, you'll be able to get to see the One Love Tennis film and hear all the music that we were able to find from MusicBed. They've also introduced a new AI search tool, which has been really cool, where if you find a song from a film that you like or an artist that you know of, you can just drop the name of that song, and that AI tool will quickly spit out a list of the songs that are similar on the MusicBed library. And right now, you can try a 14-day trial of their library with my code that I put down below in the description. Thank you, MusicBed, for not only supporting this video, but also helping us accomplish this film with SOWN and many more in the near future.
It's my feet.
Point number 3, and this is what my producer Tad has always yelled at me, is bring extra cables. Anything that could possibly break, you should have an extra one in country. It's kind of absurd that you would spend sometimes tens of thousands of dollars to reach a location somewhere else in the world and you only have one HDMI cable. One of our students in AOD showed me this little pack that they have where every cable that they have on their camera or computer, they've bought in a second one and put it in that pack. And also some other little accessories like extra screws, because you know you're always missing one from your plate. Any piece of gear that you could lose, break, or need, you should have an extra one. I know space is limited when you're traveling, but I've been stuck in countries like in the middle of Mali with an SDI cable that broke and had to convince someone in a village to sell me their HDMI cable so I could actually continue shooting and look at my monitor. Don't do what Donnie Don't does.
Don't do what Donnie Don't does. They could have made this clearer.
Bring extra cables. Lastly, I only recommend bringing 3 lenses. If you're wondering what you're trying to bring, I think always have the 24-70. It's just the safest bet and one of my favorite focal ranges. Then, if you need 2 other lenses, the idea is if you're shooting an interview, maybe get a lens with autofocus like a 50mm. Sometimes you're stuck in environments where you just need to blur out the background. And then from there, it's a question of, do you want a 70-200 to get those extra really up close shots? Or do you want a wide lens like a 17-40 or 16-35? Yeah, you could bring 4 lenses. But I honestly just shot a feature film with 3 lenses. It was my Helios 44-2 lens, which is a 58mm, my 24-70, and then I actually just been using the Sigma 28-45 as my interview lens. The autofocus on that lens sucks, but it's amazing for interviews because it's a 1.8, and rather than having to move my tripod in and out, I can just reframe because it is a zoom lens. So I hope these tips helped. If you made it this far, it means that you're interested in filmmaking. We're so grateful for this collaboration with SOWN. SOWN's mission is to provide free videos for NGOs, charities, and aid organizations all across the globe. Through their videos, they've already helped raise $3 million. And they haven't wanted to compromise on the quality. They've wanted to be beautiful films that are highly cinematic. And this is why when we've seen people who've gone through our AOD system, who've submitted to our one-day doc festival, and who show that they have an aptitude to creating amazing films, we recommend them and get them into the SOWN roster so that they get to travel and help complete incredible films. If you're not part of AOD, we will be opening the doors on a permanent basis coming up very soon. We've decided to do a test run rather than doing a launch format. We will allow people to join at any point in the year. So if you'd like to be considered as a SOWN filmmaker, now's your chance to join AOD, get in and learn more about documentary filmmaking, and perhaps be one of the next people to work and travel on one of these incredible documentary films. Thank you, Jake, over at SOWN, for the collaboration. Thank you, Jakub and Jeven, for all your dedication on this project, as well as our producers, Michael and Tad from AOD, who helped get this film across the line. And thanks to Donna Dinnett for the amazing color on this project. Get out there, get shooting. Remember, you're always a guest of these countries. When you're a filmmaker, you're taking. So ask yourself, what are you giving? This is why working with NGOs is a beautiful thing, because you're actually giving back to these communities. I will see you on the next video. And this is as close as I will be to owning an Arri camera. It's a mug, which was still very overpriced. German engineering, right? I hate goodbyes, but I do love the Alexa Mini LF. Chef's kiss. Best image in the game. See you.